and to maintain material attachments, even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to achieve the desired success, Krishna Prem. So once again, welcome to today's call and thank you very much for joining us. Moving on to our next session, which is Srimad Bhagaavatam class. I will let all the devotees on the call to please go ahead with your introductions now.
Hare Krishna, Lakshmi Mata Ji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai, Pritidas from Charlotte. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Preeti Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Lakshmi Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devidasi from Texas College Tuition.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Lakshmi Mataji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharajis. My humble obeisances to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumari Devidasi from Nagpur.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Kumari Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisance to you and respect the assembled Zoom devotees. I am Chalana Lakshmi from Malaysia. Thank you very much and Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Sharana Lakshmi Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Lakshmi Mataji. This is Kamala Devidasi from Baltimore. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj and all the devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Kamadika Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Lakshmi Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the assembled devotees. This is Anita Ramaya from Georgia. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Anita Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Do we have any more introductions before we start the class?
Hare Krishna, Lakshmi Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all the assembled devotees. This is Indulekha Karna Devidasi from LinkedIn.
Hare Krishna, Indulekha Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Lakshmi Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Shyama Guru Devidasi from Charlotte.
Hare Krishna, Shamagari Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru and Gauranga and all the assembled devotees. Yashamati from Chicago.
Hare Krishna, Yashomati Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Mataji, this is Balavinda.
Hare Krishna, Balavrinda. Thank you for joining the class, Balavrinda.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. My name is Mageshwaran Swami.
Hare Krishna, Mageshwaran Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Aditi Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Valli from Naperville, Chicago. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Valli Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
all glory
Krishna.
to Srila Prabhupada and Guru. This is Vishwanath Das. Thank you for the invitation for joining this class. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Vishwanath Prabhuji, Dhanvat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to all the assembled devotees. This is Shiromani Nandarani Devi Dasi. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Shiromani Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, welcome to Bhakti Sangha conference call. We're extremely fortunate to have His Grace Amogh Lila Prabhuji here with us today. And Prabhuji would be enlightening us by discussing Srimad Bhagaavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 12 and verse 17. But before we dive into this nectarine class, I would request Raj Prabhuji to share a brief introduction about His Grace Amogh Lila Prabhuji. So Hare Krishna, Raj Prabhuji, Dhanvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Over to you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dana Pranam to you and
Welcome
all
back,
assembled.
Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji, thank you. All the assembled devotees, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, Shri Guru and Gauranga. Here is a brief introduction for our very, very, very dear speaker today, His Grace Amogh Lila Prabhuji. Prabhuji is a disciple of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj and is presently serving as Vice President of Dwarkadish Temple at Dwarka. With great spiritual curiosity, right from his childhood days, Prabhuji found his answers at ISKCON, and in 2010 became a full-time practicing monk brahmachari. Prabhuji has the art of combining the heavy philosophy with just the right proportion of anecdotes, one-liners, humor to leave the audience spellbound and inspire them to embrace this path of bhakti. And Prabhuji gives classes in both Hindi and English. Prabhu has helped thousands of students free themselves from the clutches of addiction and depression. He also serves as a life coach, helping people with stress-related problems. We are very, very, very grateful to Prabhuji as our speaker on Bhakti Sangha today. Over to you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you so much, Raj Prabhuji, for sharing the introduction about the speaker.
Prabhuji didn't join yet.
Yeah, I don't see him here either.
Prabhuji joining, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
2 minutes.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Ram Ram,
Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Ram Ram, Ram Hare
Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna, Hare Ram Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare
Ram
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Ram Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare
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 Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna.
Ram Ram, Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram Ram, Ram, Hare Hare.
Ram Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare Hare.
Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Ram
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna,
Ram Ram, Hare
Amogh
Hare
Lila Prabhu,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Prabhuji आगे.
Hare Krishna, Amogh Lila Prabhuji. Danvat Pranam. Danvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for giving us your valuable time and association this morning and enlightening us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam. Without further ado, I'd like to request you to please take over from here. Hare Krishna.
All right. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, devotees. Thank you for inviting me. Happy to be with all of you once again. Hare Krishna. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari. Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. So today we are studying from Srimad Bhagavatam. Yes, so here is the verse. So this verse is from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 12, chapter entitles Pritasur's Glorious Death. And verse number 17 and 18 is what we are going to discuss. So 17 doesn't have a purport, so I'll just read it out and then both the verses, then we'll focus on the purport of the shloka. So here is the 17th verse, as you can see on the screen. Pranagala hoyam samara ishvaksho vahasanasaha atrana gayate mushya jayo mushya parajayaha. So translation goes like this. O my enemy, consider this battle a gambling match in which our lives are the stakes. The arrows are the dice, and the animals acting as couriers are the game board. No one can understand who will be defeated and who will be victorious. It all depends on providence. Okay, now goes next verse. Shri Shuka Uvacha Indro Vitravacha Shrutva Gatali Kama Pujayat Grahita Prajaha Praha Sanstha Tamaha Gata Vismayaha. Shri Shuka Uvacha Indro Vrittavacha Shrutva Gatali Kam Pujayat Grahita Vrajaha Praha Sanstha Tamaha Gata Vismayaha. Shri Shuka Uvacha Indro Vrittavacha Shrutva Gatali Kama Pujayat Grihita Vrajaha Prahansans Tamaha Gata Vismayaha. Okay, now goes word meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. So word meaning or synonyms are like this. Shri Shuka Uvacha, Shri Shukadeva Goswami said, Indraha, King Indra, Vritrava Vachaha, the words of Vritrasur, Shrutva, hearing, Gata Alinkam, without duplicity, Apujiyat, worshipped, Grihita Vajraha, taking up the thunderbolt, Prahasan, smiling, Tam, unto Vritrasur, Aham, said, Gata Vismayaha, giving up his wonder. Translation. Shukadeva Goswami said, hearing the straightforward instructive words of Vritrasur, King Indra praised him and again took the thunderbolt in his hand. Without bewilderment or duplicity, he then smiled and spoke to Vritrasur as follows. Purport. King Indra, the greatest of the demigods, was astonished to hear the instructions of Vritrasur, who was supposed to be a demon. He was struck with wonder that a demon could speak so intelligently. Then he remembered great devotees like Prahlad Maharaj and Bali Maharaj, who had been born in the families of demons, and thus he came to his senses. Even so-called demons sometimes have exalted devotion for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, Indra smiled reassuringly at Vritrasur. Okay. Om Agyan Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Supadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavansha Shri Rupam Sagrijatam Sahagana Raghunatha Nitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahaganalta Shri Vishakhan Vitascha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langai Tegarim Yat Kripatamaham Mande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Jai Gurudev Jai Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. So here is a very interesting pastime happening and very instructive that how Vritrasur, who is so-called demon, Shri Prabhupada is calling him so-called demon because he's actually a devotee. But now he has come in the form of a demon, externally looking very ferocious form. And here is a demon, Vritrasur, and here is Indra. So we have been discussing this and how Vritrasur is very enthusiastic that, yes, come on, kill me. I want to be killed. But I'll be, although you will be victorious, I'm going to lose. But yet, actually, the real wealth of pure devotion service is going to be with me, not you, Indra. And then even though while fighting, his thunderbolt slipped from his hand. And then he's encouraging, come on, pick it up. Kill me. Now, Indra is smiling. Shri Prabhupada is saying that reassuringly, that yes, he understood that there are demons, but they are not demons by nature, but they are devotees in their heart. So that's why over here he's smiling, and then he picked up the weapon and then he's going to fight. But one thing which is very important here to learn is that we cannot judge the book by its cover. We cannot judge the book by its cover. It can be absolutely so much bewildering. And an excellent example in this context is that of Pundarik Vidyanidhi and Gadadhar Pandit. Gadadhar Pandit, he heard from the devotees that there is one very, very exalted devotee. His name is Srila Pundarik Vidyanidhi, who in Krishna Lila is Vrishabhanuji, the divine father of Srimati Radharani. And Gadadhar Pandit is actually Srimati Radharani. So Srimati Radharani is going to meet his father in the form of Gadadhar Pandit. So he is going to meet the father, Pundarik Vidyanidhi, who is actually Vrishabhanuji. But in the Leela, of course, now as he heard glories from Mukund about Pundrik Vidyanidhi, thought that let me go and take association of this exalted devotee. But as he went there to meet Pundrik Vidyanidhi ji, he could see that he was living in all kind of royalties. He was having a silken bed, and there was also canopy, and then all kind of luxuries were there surrounding him. And then he was also having pan and chewing betel nut. And he also spitting in that cup while eating the betel nut. Now seeing all of this opulence, grandeur, well, an exalted devotee should be living in a very renounced way, but here I can see a devotee, okay, so to say, a devotee who is surrounded by opulence. How come? And then bewildered. But then as Mukund, he could see that, oh yes, here some doubt is coming in the mind of Gadadhar Pandit. And then as he started glorifying the nature of the mercy of Lord Shri Krishna, that aho bakiyam stanakala kutam, that how Lord Krishna delivered that Putana who has come to kill him. So Putana, she has set the example of the extreme of duplicity. And Krishna has set the example of extreme of mercy. Wow. To the most duplicitous he plays in such a merciful way. Wow. And as Pundrik Vidyanidhi heard this verse, he just jumped from his bed and then started singing and dancing and shedding tears and exhibiting all the symptoms of ecstatic devotion. And then Gadadhar Pandit saw this. Oh, I did a great mistake. In my mind, I thought that this person may not be such an exalted devotee because he's surrounded by so many opulences. So, but I have done an offense. In my mind, although I've done the offense. So I will rectify this mistake by taking initiation from Pundrik Vidyanidhi ji. Now see, here is the example of Pundrik Vidyanidhi and Gadadhar Pandit. Gadadhar Pandit has not done verbal offense or physical offense, just mental offense. And being so sensitive that I should not commit any offense, he immediately took shelter of Pundrik Vidyanidhi. That he decided that I will take initiation from Srila Pundrik Vidyanidhi. That means he's going to now become spiritual father of Srila Gadadhar Pandit. Sri Vrishabhanuji is spiritual father of Srimati Radharani. And here, Srimati Radharani in the form of Gadadhar Pandit is going to have spiritual father in the form of Vrishabhanuji, who is now there in the form of Pundrik Vidyanidhi. A wonderful, sweet pastime indeed. But yes, one thing which we should learn, that as soon as we realize that I have done some mistake, I should immediately seek forgiveness. More you become spiritually stronger, more you become spiritually more exalted, then you become more sensitive towards others, that I may not hurt anyone. My words, my actions may not hurt anyone, may not give pain to anyone. But yes, more we are egoistic, more we are encapsulated in the shell of ego, then we are sensitive towards our own selves. That means we at the fall of head, we become angry, disturbed, agitated. This happens why? Because I'm completely, thickly covered and encaged and imprisoned by ego, my false ego. But as soon as bhakti increases and the clutch of ego, it gets loosens. So then we see that devotee becomes less sensitive about one's own self, but becomes more sensitive about others. That I may not do anything about anything which hurts anyone. In case there is slightest of offense, then the devotee thinks, I'm very, very sorry. I know I might have hurt you. I'm very sorry. I sincerely apologize. No, Prabhu, no offense. No, I think I did an offense, While I entered the temple, I should have said Hare Krishna to you. I was so casual. I did not wish you Hare Krishna. I'm so sorry. Small thing, but sensitive. So here we see the example of Sri Gadadhar Pandit, who judged the cover by its book. That means he saw that, well, this person is surrounded by opulences, so how can this person be a great devotee? Doubt came. Judging someone by the externals, especially devotee cannot be judged by the externals. Absolutely not. Another wonderful example comes in Ramayana. When Vibhishan, when he came from Lanka, when all the monkey army, they are there, along with Sri Ramchandra, they are there in Lanka. So Vibhishan came to meet Sri Ramchandra. And all the monkey army, led by Sugriva, they were doubtful that how come this demon, Vibhishan, has come to meet Sri Ramchandra? Maybe he has got some ulterior motives. Maybe he has come to see what's our strength. And then he will take all of that data, all of that information, and will let Ravana know about this. Maybe he's a spy. So they were judging him. Well, Lord Sri Ramchandra, being the omniscient Lord, he could see that although externally this person is a demon, Vibhishan, but internally he is my pure devotee. Yes. And that we see in Ramayana, that when all the brothers and sisters of Vibhishan, Ravana asked for immortality. And I want to rule the worlds. That's what he asked for. Kumbhakarna also asked for that. I should never get defeated. And Shrupnaka also asked that, okay, let me change my form wherever I want. Whatever form I want to take, I should be able to take. But what did Vibhishan ask for from Brahmaji as a benediction? He said, well, I may never forget my Lord Hari. I may never ever forget him. So the other brothers and sisters said, hey Vibhishan, what are you asking, man? What are you asking? May you never forget Vishnu, Lord Hari? Ask some boon which is beneficial for you. No, what are you asking, man? So this is Vibhishan, pure devotee of the Lord, but externally he is a demon. So Sugriv and the army, they were doubtful about the character of Vibhishan. But Lord Sri Ramchandra, he could see that, well, externally, so-called, this person is so-called a demon, but actually he is a devotee. So this mistake can also happen with us. We can also do this mistake. We can judge somebody from somebody's externals, but that we should not do. I remember when I was in the year 2000, I was a new bhakta. I was quite new, and we were going in our bus to Vrindavan. And in our youth forum, there was one boy who was also sitting next to me. And I could see that he was chanting with his left hand. He was chanting Hare Krishna. I said, well, how many years have you spent in bhakti? He said, well, around 2 years or so. Yeah, I spent in bhakti. Okay. I said, well, in 2 years, at least you should know that we should not chant by left hand. We should be chanting with right hand. He said, yes, Prabhuji, my mistake, I just did not realize this. I should be chanting with my right hand. I'm chanting with my left hand. I'm very sorry, but thank you for reminding me. Thank you. After some time, again, I saw that he was just chanting with his left hand. I said, well, you did not change. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I'll change it. I'll change it. So after some time, then I also dozed off because it's 3 hours journey from Delhi to Vrindavan. So I also dozed off, and he also dozed off. So from the windows, the breeze was coming. So the shawl which he was wearing, it just little bit, somewhat went away, little bit here and there. And then I could see that this devotee was not having the right hand. That's why he was chanting with left hand. But I judged a devotee on the face value. That this devotee is so dumbo. Even after 2 years of bhakti, don't you know? We should be chanting with right hand. Oh. And when I saw this, I was so guilty that even today when I speak about this incidents, I feel guilty. That how I could be so ruthless, so rudely straightforward, without getting into the details that what is the reality, the ground reality. I just pass a remark, hurting remark. And see the greatness of this devotee. He did not say, you fool, you brainless person, open your head, open your eyes. I'm not having my right hand, man. I'm still chanting. But such a humbleness of that devotee. He said, yeah, sometimes, by mistake, I was doing this. I'll change it. I'll change it. So judging the book by its cover can be really wrong. Yes. I remember when I was about to go to, from ISKCON East of Kailash, I was getting transferred to ISKCON Dwarka. So I asked one devotee who is a temple manager. I said, Prabhuji, I do not know management. Please give me some tips about management, how to manage a temple and devotees. He said, well, okay. So I said, Prabhuji, since I'm going to manage the temple and I have no experience of management, so please kindly give me some tips in management, how to do management in temple. He said, firstly, you should know that you are a sadhu. Never forget that you are a sadhu. So behave like a sadhu. Talk like a sadhu, walk like a sadhu, deal like a sadhu. Sadhu. That is what you should be doing. Okay, all right. So I had kept this tip in my mind. So once one devotee came to me, he was weeping. said, Prabhu, Amogh Lila Prabhu, I will not stay in this temple anymore. I'm going to leave this temple. I said, so what happened? Why you are thinking like that? You want to leave this temple? What happened? He said, Prabhuji, that devotee, I was doing kirtan. And this devotee said, dare not touch the mic. Do you understand? Dare not touch the mic. I said, okay, I'm not doing kirtan at all. I'm leaving. And then that's why I just came to tell you that I'm not going to be in this temple anymore. I said, okay, all right. Bring that devotee who passed such a remark on you. So that devotee was called. So I had this in my mind that I should listen to both the sides. In management, never listen to one side and give decision. Even though this person is weeping, still I should listen to other side as well. So I called the other devotee. The Prabhu, did you pass such a remark that dare not touch the mic? Did you say that? He said, yes, Prabhuji, I said that dare not touch the mic. So I said, so don't you like this devotee's kirtan? He said, well, it's not about that. Actually, the earthing in this mic is not good. And that's why there is always some current in this mic. So while sometimes singing, our lips can touch the mic. And when the lips they get touched, so others may think, wow, this devotee is in ecstasy, Prabhu. This devotee is in ecstasy. Well, this devotee is not in ecstasy. He's having some, he's in Ministry of Current Affairs. Current affairs. Hare Krishna, no. This may not happen. That's why I said, Prabhu, dare not touch the mic. So initially, what was the reality presented and what actually the reality was? So if I would have taken decision in a very reactive way, oh, is that so? You will not go. That devotee will go. Don't worry. I'm temple authority. I will take the decision. I will do the justice. That's really crazy. Judging the book on its surface. So sometimes we judge the situations as well on surface. So we should listen to all the sides. We should listen to all the sides. Then we can take right decisions in life. In fact, you will see that relationships, we struggle in relationships. Why? Because we are judging the person on face value. We are not getting into discussion. We are not reaching the ground reality. We are not doing that. And that's why we see that devotees, they really struggle in relationships as well. Once I remember that one husband and wife, they came to me. Very, very conflict-driven was their relationship. I said, so why do you guys have conflict in both of you? And the wife said, well, I don't trust him. And husband said, I also don't trust her. Okay, I asked Mataji, the wife, okay, why don't you trust him? Why? What's wrong with this guy? And she said, Prabhuji, I read somewhere that the men who have got green color eyes, they are not trustworthy. And this man has got green color eyes. So that's why this man is not trustworthy. Okay. And why don't you trust your wife? I asked the husband. The husband said, well, I read somewhere that those ladies who have got copper color hair, they are not trustworthy. And my wife, she's having copper color hair. So that's why she is not trustworthy. Maybe when I'm in office, she's meeting someone. And husband said, and wife said, and my husband, I doubt his character. Maybe when he's in office, he's having some affair with somebody because this guy's got green eyes. Now, neither the husband had any affair in office, nor the wife had any kind of affair apart from, other than the husband, she's meeting someone. No. But judging, they were judging each other on surface, face value. Green eyes, not trustworthy. Characterless. Copper color hair. Not trustworthy. So instead of getting into discussion, instead of getting into reality, checking the reality, investigating into reality, judging on the surface. And that's why relationships, they really struggle to have healthy relationships. Why? Because they judge each other on the face value. And just like here, we see that this person, as they were judging on each other on face value, Indra is judging Vritrasura on face value, that he is demon, but actually he's a great saintly personality. He's a pure devotee internally. Yes. So we never know who will be what, especially in the world of devotees. Not just in the world of devotees, even in the world of karmis as well, this can happen. Yes. I remember I was doing book distribution once, and there was one police wala. And this police officer, patchy face, black teeth with pan, red colored teeth, big eyes, huge monster. And he was having a huge stick in his hand. And as I was doing book distribution in Connaught Place in Delhi, I said, "Hey, come here." I thought, oh, this huge monster police officer, today I would be beaten for sure. I said, "Hey, come. What are you doing?" I said, "Sir, actually, we are giving this book, we are doing this Bhagavad Gita marathon, so we are giving Bhagavad Gita, doing this book distribution marathon." "What? Have you taken permission?" So permission, actually, we do it selflessly. There is no commission as such involved in it, so we do it selflessly. So that's why we did not take any permission, sir. "Nonsense! How can you do this?" I thought, today, Amogh Lila Das, today you would be beaten by this police wala for sure. He's huge, he's monster. Just see his teeth, red colored teeth. Just see his biceps and triceps. He's huge. Today he'll crush you to powder. So internally I was praying, "Oh Lord, you are my protector." So then he said, "What is your time of coming here and distributing these books?" I said, "Sir, we come from 6 p.m. From my office. After my office, I come to this place. From 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. I do book distribution." "Oh, so you go to office as well? After office, you do this?" "Yes, yes, sir." "What's the cost of one Bhagavad Gita?" I said, "Sir, one Bhagavad Gita is for 100 rupees. 100 rupees. Show me." And then he got Bhagavad Gita, turned few pages. "Give me 2. And then he purchased 2 Bhagavad Gitas. So on the face value, actually, he was a monster. He appeared to be a demon. Today, this police wala is going to crush me. He'll put me in mixie and then maximum knob, gone, finished, crushed. Today, I'll get karmic reaction of all the sins which I have done in the past. But I could say that I judged this police wala on the face value. This person with patchy face and black eyes and red teeth, and he would beat me. But no. So we should not judge somebody on the face value. And among devotees as well. This was an example of from non-devotee world. Like among devotees as well, this can happen. Once this happened that when Indra Prabhu was doing Kirtan in Vrindavan Dham, so one European lady, she came. It was winter season. She came, and as she saw Shishi Radha Shyam Sundar. Radha Shyam Sundar are so beautiful, beautiful, absolute beauty. So, and then Kirtan was going on. So she started dancing a little bit on Kirtan of Sripad Indra Prabhuji. And as she kept on dancing, so she took off her jacket and then just swirled around her jacket and threw it and then continued to dance, dance, dance. And then she took off her pullover as well. And then just threw it and then continued to dance, dance. And then Kirtan was going intense and even more intense and even more intense. Yes. And then she took off her sweater and then swirled it around and threw it and then continued to dance. And then there was one warm sweatshirt she was wearing inside. And then she took off that as well, threw it. Now devotees were thinking, what will happen now? Indra Prabhu is making Kirtan more and more intense. But this lady is taking off her clothes. Now only 1 or 2 cloths are left. What Indra Prabhu is going to do? He should stop Kirtan. What Prabhuji is doing, he should stop it. But Prabhuji was making it even more intense. And now only last t-shirt was left on her body. Now devotees are anxious. Now what is going to happen now? And then Ayendra Prabhu all of a sudden, and then he stopped the kirtan. Jai Jai Shri Radhe Sham. Stop. Devotees said, oh, thank God. What was about to going to happen? And the way she was taking off her clothes, we thought that today something undesirable may happen. Thank God, Ayendra Prabhu rightly stopped. And the devotees asked Ayendra Prabhu after the kirtan, they said, Prabhuji, could you see that she was taking off her clothes and she was dancing, but you were making the kirtan more and more intense. Why? So Ayendra Prabhu said, well, I saw her devotion. That Radha Shyam Sundar inspired her so much that she was dancing with all of her intensity, with all of her love and devotion. And as she was dancing and she was becoming more ecstatic, so she thought that clothes were like, but binding her. So that's why she was dancing for Radha Shyam Sundar. So all throughout the kirtan, Ayendra Prabhu was not really looking at her. He was just doing kirtan. But at the same time, he had the sensitivity when to stop as well. So he had this consciousness that she is offering her devotion to Krishna. And he quoted one example from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu that there was one lady, she danced before the Lord and she got so much mercy just by dancing before the deities of the Lord. That she got Raganuga Bhakti. So she was also having almost similar kind of spirit. So Srimad Ayendra Prabhuji, he saw the devotional spirit. But those who are not so mature, they were saying that what's happening? Why Ayendra Prabhu is making it more intense? Well, there is a reason. There is a reason. So sometimes the devotees of the Lord, they do something which we may not be able to comprehend that why is this happening? It can be beyond our comprehension. But the devotees, they know the inner realities. Yes. Like sometimes when we do counseling, so when we hear the story and we know, I know the story, what's going on. Yeah, you are struggling with your chanting. You are struggling with your fourth principle. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, you can stop now. I know. So we do not sometimes listen to the whole thing completely, but we should listen to the whole thing completely. Yes. Like once there was one boy, he was in Gurukul, and the teacher asked this boy, she said, okay, if I give you 2 mangoes, if I give you 2 mangoes more, so how many mangoes do you have? She asked the student. And he said, well, 5 mangoes. Teacher said, well, you did not listen to question attentively. If I give you 2 mangoes and I give you 2 mangoes more, so in total, how many mangoes do you have? 5. Okay, all right. If I give you 2 strawberries and I give you 2 strawberries more, so how many strawberries you have? 4 strawberries. How come when I give you 2 mangoes and 2 more mangoes and you have 5 mangoes? If I give you 2 strawberries and 2 more strawberries, then you have 4 strawberries. What's this? And the student said, ma'am, actually I already have 1 mango. And then he took out that mango from his bag. But I don't have any strawberry. So 2 strawberries and 2 strawberries makes 4 strawberries. But 2 mangoes and 2 mangoes plus this mango makes 5 mangoes. That's why, teacher. So she was very quick in judging. And this is what happens to us as well. We sometimes judge people on surface. We do not know about their hidden mango. What they are going through, what's happening to them, how people have treated them, the upbringing of the person. We do not know about this hidden mango. We judge them the way we are dealing with them. But we should see the painful heart behind that kind of incidents. If somebody is very rowdy, somebody is very rough, somebody is very insulting, somebody is like that. But we see that, well, this person is very crazy. But what's the reason behind that craziness? So as we touch the heart of the person, well, then immediately we can see that there is some kind of change. It happens, yes. Like we see in the case of Srila Prabhupada, he had one disciple, Haridas Prabhu. And Haridas Prabhu, when he saw Srila Prabhupada's photograph on a magazine and he saw the wristwatch of Srila Prabhupada, Rolex watch, and then he decided that one day I'll get this watch. So as he came outside, he also mixed with devotees so that one day he would take advantage of the opportunity and would take that watch of Srila Prabhupada. But Srila Prabhupada, and once he was saying, when he was seeing all of the initiation ceremony, Srila Prabhupada said, well, do you also want to get initiated? Are you planning to get initiated? He had no plan for initiation. And then Srila Prabhupada there and then gave the beads to him and then gave him the name Haridas. Haridas Thakur was a great chanter of the holy name. May you be servant of that Haridas Thakur and chant Hare Krishna. He had never ever received such affection, such mercy, such compassion. He was so much overwhelmed by Srila Prabhupada that wow. And immediately he gave up all of that stealing business and he became very, very honest. In fact, a very good devotee. A devotee who even started ITV, ISKCON television, was started by Haridas Prabhu. So that's why when we see somebody who is struggling in one's life, we should see that what's the reality behind. Has somebody been oppressed by someone, insulted, some kind of injustice? That's why this person is not so humble, not so grounded, not so much in devotional culture. Instead of hating the person, we tend to hate. But we should not do that. So that's why we should investigate. Yes. And every saint has a past. Every sinner has a future. Every saint has a past means that means there was a time when the saint was not really a saint. Like Valmiki ji, he was a dacoit. And later on, he got transformed into such a great saint that he wrote Ramayana. Wow. And every sinner has a future. That means a sinner is no more sinner. He becomes saintly person. So that's why, like we see in this example as well, Vritarasura is actually a pure devotee of the Lord. But here, he has taken this form of a demon because it's curse from Mata Parvati. But that's an external reason. But internally, he's a devotee of the Lord. So that's why we should also not be so quick in judging people, passing negative remarks on devotees. No, we should not do that. Sometimes we see that people judge someone based on gender, based on race, based on complexion, based on somebody's past history. So we judge the person. So we should not judge. We should not judge. When somebody else does mistake, then we become judge. When we do the mistake, then we become lawyer, defending ourselves. Well, I'm defense counsel, defending myself. So neither we should be a defense counsel, a lawyer, nor we should be a judge. We should become nice devotees of Krishna. That's what is to be done. And we can learn this art from Srila Prabhupada. And there was one devotee, he came to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada, I want to confess something. Before coming to Krishna consciousness, I was in jail. Srila Prabhupada said, it's okay. Krishna took birth in jail. He appeared in jail. It's okay. It's fine. Why you had to go to jail? He said, Srila Prabhupada, actually, I was dealing in drugs. And then Srila Prabhupada said, well, that's okay. I was dealing in drugs. I had Prayag pharmacy. I was doing medicines. So I was dealing in drugs. It's okay. You just chant Hare Krishna and be happy. That is his divine grace, Srila Prabhupada. All right. So today's message from this Bhagavatam class is that we should never judge the book by its cover. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. If anybody has any question, let's take a few questions now.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Such an amazing class. I was thinking, Prabhu, thanks. We don't have green eyes, Prabhu. What amazing incident you told. And what amazing session on judging others, Prabhu. Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for coming on the call and giving your time to us. Prabhuji, we already have a few hands raised. His Grace Sukha Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. And pranam. You can unmute yourself, Sukha Hare Krishna, Prabhu. You are muted.
Thank you very much, Raj Prabhu. Thank you very much, Raj Prabhu, for giving me a chance. Amogh Lila Prabhu, as usual, so fast, he gives so many stories and they prove everything. Prove one thing. First one, you told, one of the devotees told that he was standing with the left hand. So when you told him that, why are you doing like this? He should have told you, no, Prabhu, I don't have hand. Why? He also should not hide. No, it's not your mistake completely.
Okay.
You told him then why? Why he was just telling us, no, I will do, Prabhu, don't worry. That also, I think, that he also should have been trans. Am I right or wrong? I'm not judging him.
Actually, Prabhuji, yeah, of course I was wrong. There's nothing to judge about me. I was straightforwardly, black and white, wrong. I shouldn't have passed such a comment. Yeah, so, but yes, this devotee was showing excellent example of humbleness. This is excellent example of humbleness. Even though if I'm not at mistake, still I'm saying sorry. I apologize. I accept the feedback. That's very high quality humbleness. Like we see this example, case of Sri Rupa Goswami. When Vallabhacharya came and gave feedback to Sri Rupa Goswami, he said, well, you have written Bhukti Mukti Spriha Yavat Pishaji Hiti Vartate. You have called Bhukti Mukti as Pishachi, as a witch. You should not call Bhukti Mukti as a witch. Okay, we should not go for them. We go for Bhakti, not for sense gratification or liberation. But you can't call them Pishachi. Maybe you should change the analogy. He said, yeah, of course, I'll change it. Yeah, my mistake. I'll work on it. When the Sri Jiva Goswami went to Vallabhacharya afterwards, that my Guru Maharaj has not written anything wrong. He has not called Bhukti Mukti as Pishachi. He has called Bhukti Mukti Spriha. The desire for Bhukti and Mukti is Pishachi, but not Bhukti and Mukti as Pishachi. He said, wow, very intelligent boy. So he came back and said, well, I take my feedback back. But here is an example of Sri Rupa Goswami, that even though a feedback was given which was wrong, but even though he's not had mistake, yet he's saying, yeah, my mistake. So this is very high quality, high level humbleness. If somebody commits mistake and then he says, yes, I did mistake, that's also humbleness. But higher than that is that when you have not done mistake and yet you are saying, yeah, maybe I am at mistake, please bless me that I may not do it in future. So similarly, so this devotee, although he knew that I was wrong, he was right. Yet he's saying, yeah, my mistake. This is very high quality humbleness.
No, that is true, Prabhu. I fully agree with what you say. But unki taraf se bhi, you cannot know mera right hai, nahi hai, main left. वो भी बोल सकता था ना. I'm not judging.
He could say, but he had genuine humbleness, genuine devotion. That's why he said, yeah, I'm at mistake. You are right. That's the nature of bhakti. So bhakti, that's why cannot be sometimes bound in logic, because it is supra logic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Or now we have Naina Sharma Mataji. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Pranam. Yes, Mataji, please go ahead.
Prabhuji, my question is, when you don't judge, but people judge you, how to react in that situation? I mean, like, sometimes when you are considered wrong, even though, I end up sharing a video of yours, and I live in Canada, and I end up sharing a video of yours, and people get back to me saying, how could you say this for all the Matajis? It was around the Kirtan and something. How you got the Bhagavad Gita? It was around that. So I was just thinking, like, in that, I was not even thinking. I just love the way you say things, and it makes so much sense to me. I was just thinking that, but somehow I end up offending people.
No, you're not offending them. Some people are ultra sensitive. And because they are ultra sensitive, so that's why they get offended at the fall of hat. So they get offended so easily. If somebody sneezes in Europe, they get cold in America. So sensitive. Oh my God. So in such a case, you are not at fault. But when we are spreading the good message, there would always be people, they may not be able to accept it with healthy spirit, with good spirit. That's understood. That can happen. But yes, if somebody is misjudging us, wrongly judging us, so in such a case, we should say, yeah, yes, since you are saying so, you are a devotee of the Lord, how can you be wrong? So certainly I'm at mistake. But yeah, at the same time, if you kindly permit me, can I share something to highlight some of the important points regarding this incidents, if you don't mind? Yeah, sure, please go ahead. Well, actually, you know what happened? So then you can mention. So that's also there. Sometimes for higher management purposes, we need some kind of clarification. So then we can give some kind of clarification as well. Here at the same time, you can say, yes, as you have said, yes, I'm at mistake. But I would like to also add, if you kindly allow me, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you can also mention difference. That's
so
fine.
First acknowledge and then express your.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Makes sense. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So now we have Anjana Gopika Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanatana. Prabhuji, very nice class. Thank you so much, and always very, very inspiring in our spiritual life. Prabhuji, this judgment things is very difficult for me to come out. I always judge. Means I don't want to judge, but what will happen if I see something? Immediately, unknowingly, I feel and not say. Just I'm trying to not to express, but sometimes it just happens. And then, can you give some tips how to come out from this?
When we are more reactive instead of responding, we respond in Satogun and we react in Rajo and Tamo. So since mostly people in Kali Yuga are having primarily these two qualities of Rajo and Tamo, that's why we tend to react. Even among devotees, I've seen this, we tend to react. Like in our organization, some of the issues, they became complicated, although they could be resolved in a very nice way. But yes, they became complicated. Why? Because people were very reactive. One group is passing reactive remarks on other. This group is passing reactive remarks on others. In this way, that problem, that issue became hyper complicated. So this issue is there among devotees also, that we tend to react. We should not be reacting. But this is happening because of mode of passion and ignorance. This is happening. More we get into mode of goodness, then we naturally respond. That means we listen, we investigate, we take all the details, and then conclude. So that's why we need to work on the mode of goodness part.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Yes. All right. Hare Krishna. So next we have Vimala Rupan Nitai Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Ramji.
Prabhuji, my question is that from our side, without any mistake, but opposite side mistake is there, but we are forgiving always. But they are taking it as advantage and they are continuing their mistake, but they are forgiving continuously. But inside it feels as like why we are forgiving, he is a devotee. But that feeling is also an offense or
yeah. Actually, people in Kali Yuga are quite dull-headed. So that's why when we forgive, we have to tell the person, actually, I forgive you. Although it was a mistake, I have been doing it repeatedly because I have love for you. But I would also request you not to do it again and again. Please don't take it for granted. We have to say this. Because people are not so intelligent in Kali Yuga that they would say, oh, well, you forgave me. I know that. I know that, I did not deserve it, but still you forgave me. Thank you. People are not that intelligent in Kali Yuga, generally speaking. Very few people are like that. So that's why we need to tell them that although I'm doing this, I'm forgiving you, but at the same time, I expect you to behave properly as well in future. I hope you don't mind because I see you as my friend. So please don't do that. This particular kind of behavior of yours, it hurts me. So please don't do this. So we should express it. So humbleness is best although, but with Kali Yuga batch or with neophyte devotees, we have to be assertive, not aggressive, but assertive. So we should be assertive. That means we say, we may forgive somebody because forgiving is required. Without forgiveness, we cannot really live. So we should forgive. Here at the same time, some positive actions are to be taken. So to forgive and forget, that's the best. But some of the cases, sometimes we have to forgive, but may not forget. Yeah. So we can remember that, okay, this person is little difficult, little complicated person. Okay. So that's why you may forgive, but not forget. But gradually you can forget as well. Because we are here to become Krishna conscious. Because when we do not forget, also, that interferes in my chanting. That interferes, when I'm chanting, it enters my chanting. Why? Nonsense. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram. Crazy people. Ram, 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 Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. May go to hell. Hare Krishna. So we are not able to chant. So to forgive and forget, that's the best thing to do. Because we have limited time, limited energy, and the goal is highest, a love of God. Golok Vrindavan, long way to go. So we can't waste our energy as well at the same time. Yeah. And if you see that this person is way too rude, physically maintain distance and emotionally just cut off. In case socially you can't cut off, but emotionally cut off. So that this person can't hurt you. Like they are saying, if you love someone more than they deserve, if you love someone more than they deserve, they will hurt you more than you deserve. So be very conscious in loving people as well. Not everyone can't be a recipient of our love. Yeah. Krishna and his pure devotees. That's it.
Yes, Prabhuji, very wonderful answer. Correct. How much they deserve that love, we can give that much.
Yes, that's it.
Yes.
Infinite love is for Krishna. and his pure devotees. That's it. Okay, Ronak. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna.
So I feel like every day in everyday life, I feel like so many problems happens, and there are choices to make. But I feel like nobody knows the correct answer in this in absolute word. I don't know like what is the correct word of the opposite of the absolute. But I feel like nobody knows the correct answer, not even devotees, because I know like devotees even don't, devotees are not God, right? So they don't know what is going to happen in the future, right? So मुझे लगता है like in everybody's mind is material, and even devotees can't answer like what is absolutely correct thing to do right now. I feel like that, and not one time, like so many times I feel like that.
Okay.
What to do? I'm very confused.
Actually, there are all kinds of devotees. There are, all different shades are there. Just like in a black and white movie, there are all kinds of shades, right? And that's the way life is. So there are also people who are in between. They are learning. There are people who are neophytes. There are people who are very, very bright, very learned. So that's why to say, all devotees are like that, then you are becoming victim of logical fallacy of generalization. You're generalizing. Yeah. So it becomes logically fallacious. So not all devotees are like that. Like, so for example, somebody is in New York and somebody is a pickpocket, and then your pocket is picked by someone, and then they say, New York is a city of pickpocketeers. Well, that's a logical fallacy of generalization. Not everyone is a pickpocketeer. Few, maybe, couple of them. But if you say all of them are pickpocketeer, then it's logically fallacious. Similar to say, but devotees do not know. Their minds are also bad. That's logically fallacious. So a new devotee, a neophyte devotee certainly can do mistakes in understanding situations of life. That's certainly possible. But to say all devotees are like that, no. And devotees, when they give answer to a question, they give in terms of principle. But the details can be different. Like a certain principle is there, and it can be applied in a certain situation. So details can be different. Like, for example, say, a reprimand in private, praise in public. Now it's a principle, right? Now the details of this execution of the principle can be different depending on the situation, like that. So that's why we should not just say that, well, devotees, they don't know. But there are many devotees that know. In fact, sometimes just a single sentence is like an X-ray of entire life. Yes. Just like I remember there was one devotee, he met one Maharaj, one sannyasi. Maharaj said, you should come out of this self-obsession mania. And then Maharaj continued to have prasadam. This devotee said, Prabhu, how can he give complete report card of my life in a single sentence? Self-obsession mania. That's me. That's me, actually. So devotees are like that. So, but yes, you can always meet a wise devotee who can keep things confidential, who can also empathize, who is spiritually very advanced, who is good in listening. So we can certainly approach such a devotee, reveal our heart, and then get the solutions. Just by revealing the heart, you will get blessings. Solutions will help you even further, and you are completely out of the mess. So to say, well, devotees, their minds are also bad. No, not really. We all are improving. We all are on our journey to Krishna. Some people are coming behind, some are in between, some are almost there, some have already reached there. So in between. So they are there. All kinds of devotees are there. Yeah.
Okay, so you mean like pure devotees, they have like spiritual minds, basically.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So they know the absolute answers. This is the correct thing to do in this situation.
Yes, yes.
Okay, yes. I have not met them yet.
You'll meet them. How many years have you spent in Bhakti?
Maybe from 2014, 15, I'm in.
15. You are just a baby. You are just a toddler.
Yes, I am. No problem.
You are yet to see. And do you move around? Do you go to other temples as well? No.
Like when I was with Madhavas, I was moving, but now I'm not doing anymore.
Okay. So you're with Madhavas. So you're doing more of service, right? Yeah, you are yet to explore the devotees. You are yet to explore. Long way to go. Because I'm always traveling. So that's why I've got a lot of exposure of devotees. I see all kinds of devotees are in ISKCON. And we all a family. And all are important. Just like in a sabzi. Every spice has got its own function to play. Haldi is to give color. Jeera is to give tadka, is to make it more spicy. The salt is to give taste. So in this way, every spice has got its own role in making sabzi very tasty. Similarly, our ISKCON family, we have got all kind of people and they have their own different kind of flavors. So that's why I think you are yet to explore the devotees world. You should become more humble as a student. When you have learning attitude, then instead of judging devotees that they have bad minds or spiritual minds or material minds, with this attitude, you cannot learn. But when you become a student in your mindset, then you can learn even from a number one rascal person, because there is something to learn even from a rascal. So we have to bring that attitude of a student, and I am here to learn. Yes, why not? So even from someone who's having a girlfriend behind the bike, but maybe you can learn something from him. Maybe in DT worship is very good. Maybe in services is very nice. So we can learn. So we have to bring the attitude of a student. Throughout my life, I will remain a sincere, honest, ready to learn, service-oriented student. Then you will see that, well, so many bright souls are there. And who we are to judge the devotees? Who we are? Our judging very much like, just like filter passes a remark on needle. He says, hey, needle, you got a hole in you. Well, a filter has got so many holes. The sieve has got so many holes. And the sieve makes a fun of needle. Does that make sense? No. Needle has got one hole. Sieve has got so many holes. So we should see ourselves as filter or sieve, and other person just like a needle. Well, you got one hole. I got many holes. So I got no right to judge you. Like Bible says, don't judge lest you be judged. So don't do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All the best in your spiritual journey. Be a very good student. Yes. Okay, now we have Gaurangi Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji, how are you doing?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Of course I'm doing well. You're speaking.
Great. Happy to hear your voice.
Thank you, Prabhu. I need to actually continue the conversation that Sukakara Prabhu started, because this supra logic of high humility is beyond my logical mind, and I would like it. Yeah. So, I mean, I understand that devotees, they're not interested in arguing. So I could understand capitulating for that reason, or even in the case of your story, which I hate to, twist the knife in the wound, but even in the case of your story, I can understand if maybe he didn't want to reveal his situation, because to do so might have embarrassed you, and he was sensitive to you. That's possible, But other than this, I really don't understand hiding the truth, not out of pride, a devotee doesn't want to hide truth out of pride, but so I want to understand this super logic better.
Good. Nice question, Mataji. So that's why I said, Gaurangi Mataji, that a devotee has to be assertive. Sometimes people are not able to understand humbleness. Like in the case of this devotee, he was very humble and he could be assertive although, but he was very, very humble. So he did not reveal this part that I'm not having my right arm. But generally speaking, when in the devotees world, which I find is very practical, is that we should be assertive. That means we say, yes, quite possible I've done the mistake. But there are some other chapters which may not be known to everyone, that I did this, but the situation was actually this. So as an exceptional handling, I did it. But that's not my value system. But yes, that was the situation. So we can always do this. So assertiveness is also quite close to humbleness. So we can be assertive.
Yeah, we can be assertive, but you're saying that even higher than that is to even obfuscate or hide the truth.
Yes, but hide the truth not in a way that it leads to some kind of damage, say some kind of management damage, some kind of service damage. But in case somebody is accusing me, so I would say, yeah, quite possible. I'm such a duffer person. Please pray for me.
But
we
no,
see that
but
many
why
examples
that?
are there.
Why
Yeah.
do that? Why say that?
Yes. So this is ultra logical thing, but this is exhibited by many devotees. Like we see in the case of Shivas Thakur. There were people who were envious of him, and they put all kind of Durga Puja paraphernalia outside his house so that people may accuse him, oh, he's not a Krishna devotee, he's a Durga devotee. And then when he saw all of this, he said, just see, I was posing myself as a devotee, but actually I'm not a devotee. I'm a ritualistic worshipper of Durga. And people could say, well, Shivas Thakur, we know who you are, but you are being humble. That's it. So sometimes a devotee may do this, but seeing the character of the person, others understand that this person is saying, although he's very fallen, he's overeater, he's very lazy as a person, although he's saying this, but we know the character of the person. So in this way, the humbleness takes the person to another level, like that. I remember there was one devotee, he was not at mistake, but he apologized. He was misunderstood. Something was taken out of context. And then, but he said, I apologize. Yes, I have done the mistake. But you are saying you are at mistake, but we know your character. You cannot do this mistake, although you are apologizing. So actions speak louder than words. I may say that, yes, I'm at mistake, but people say, Prabhu, we know who you are. Yes, we know the beauty of your heart. We have been with you. So sometimes when we even hide the details, but yet at the same time, people know our character. So actions speak louder than words. So in this way, this is ultra logical or supra logical humbleness of a devotee exhibited sometimes. This can happen. And those who are also on that level, they can say, Prabhu, we know why you are doing this, to set up a good example. Like in our community, we know that people are not apologizing. There's so much arrogance. Yes. So here, even though you are not at mistake, you are apologizing to set up an example. Guys, when we are at mistake, why can't we say sorry? Why can't we say, I humbly apologize? You are going to set this example. So instead of just loitering on the truths, what is the truth, what is not the truth, you're working on the higher level, setting up the value system in community. This is higher value system of the community. Guys, let's seek forgiveness when we are at mistake. Why to have this arrogance? Why should I bow down? We also have some self-respect. Why should I bow down? Well, everyone is like this, and how can we have healthy community? So instead of just loitering on the level of finding out the truth, you worked on something higher. You're working on the consciousness of the community. Guys, let's be humble. Everyone, let's do it. So in this way, for a higher principle, sometimes we break the lower principle. We are focusing on the higher.
No, but higher principle to me does not sound like you apologize when you have done nothing wrong. Higher principle sounds like you should readily apologize when you know that you have done something wrong, not when you know that you have not done anything. I don't see how that is setting a higher principle, to say that, you should apologize even when you have not done wrong. I don't see that, that's not being prideful, or that's not being egotistical. That's not being, oh, I can never be wrong. That's not that. It's not the same thing. Yes, and to focus on, well, others see the real person. That also, I feel, does not address this issue.
Yes. So as I said, Mataji, a person may say by words that he's like this, and he's apologizing, but his actions, which he has done prior to this incidents, people see that this person is apologizing out of natural humbleness. This actually happens. This has happened with me. I'll not eulogize myself because that would be arrogance, but just for the sake of presenting an example. So I was misunderstood by some devotees, and then blame was there on me, and I apologized. So this devotee also understood that he apologized, but the mistake was not that grave as the issue was created. So that's why it can happen. Like this also happened with His Holiness Gopal Maharaj in Vrindavan. There was one guy, he was not happy with management. He said, you GBC people are creating mess in ISKCON.
this is that, and you, Gopal Krishna Maharaj, I spit on this management of yours too. And then this guy went away. And then Maharaj said, this devotee is quite disturbed with our management. Where does this devotee stay? He said, so devotee said, Maharaj, he lives in such and such place. Okay, please take me to his place. And then Maharaj went to his residence, knocked at the door. He opened the door, and then Maharaj paid obeisances. He said, certainly it is our mistake, being GBCs, we are not serving the devotees properly. And that's why you felt bad. I seek apology. You please bless us that we may serve the devotees rightly. And then Maharaj paid dandavats to him. And this devotee was melted by this humbleness, this high quality humbleness. He said, Maharaj, this is beyond comprehension. I spat on you. I spat on your management. I spoke ill words in front of everyone. There were hundreds of devotees in Vrindavan. And I did that. And Maharaj, you have come to my place to seek apology from me? This is beyond my intelligence. What kind of mind you have? What kind of value system you have? Who are you? So then he paid obeisances to Maharaj and apologized. And Maharaj, it was my arrogance. I should have come in private and expressed my grudges. Not that in public I should have shouted on you, who is serving in ISKCON from past 50 years selflessly. Being GBCs, you are now in your 60s. And being old, you are not having good health. But despite that, you are serving us. And I did not say any positive word. I never gave any appreciation. But just because of some kind of discomfort in guest house, I shouted on you, Maharaj. I'm sorry. So sometimes this ultra logical humbleness can be so melting for the other person, especially when it comes from a pure devotee. So this is a higher principle. Although at that time, Maharaj could say, well, excuse me, what's the issue you have? So statistics 1, statistics 2, statistics 3. Okay, all right, Prabhu. Well, makes sense. But Maharaj worked on a different level of consciousness. He listened to each and every word. He did not say, excuse me, shut up, shut up. He did not say that. In fact, he listened to the entire accusation, false accusation. But Maharaj went to his place. Ultra humility. Wow. So, there are also situations like this. So case to case, there are people who are working on different level of consciousness. But case to case, sometimes we see that humbleness would be not be considered in a right context and rightly understood with the whole situation. So we can say, yes, I apologize. Yet at the same time, I would like to say that hidden truth 1, hidden truth 2, hidden truth 3. At the same time, I apologize as well. Certainly I'm a conditioned soul. But also I would like to, so in this way it's sandwich, confession, clarification, and then again saying, yeah, confess. So this sandwich thing is very touching. It boils down the agitation of the other side. This happens. So sometimes, case to case. So sometimes we can be in this supra-logical humbleness. Sometimes we can be within logic being assertive. So both function depending on the situation.
Okay, Prabhu. Yeah.
Oh, you're not satisfied.
Well, I mean, some progress was made, but more progress needs to be made for me. Yeah.
No, you're progressing, of course. I understand. Yeah. Few things get revealed in a due course of time. But you are a sincere soul. Krishna will certainly reveal to you all of this.
Yeah. I would like a home run with the super logic. That hasn't really happened yet, but I'm hoping that it will. Pray for me. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, so now we have Sri.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी, धन्यवाद प्रणाम।
हरे कृष्णा,
प्रभु जी, मेरे को एक सवाल है रिगार्डिंग फॉल्स ईगो एंड सेल्फ रेस्पेक्ट में बहुत ही थिन लाइन होती है। समटाइम्स वी कैन अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज फॉल्स ईगो एंड व्हाट इज आवर सेल्फ रेस्पेक्ट। सो समटाइम्स डिवोटीज के चरण में हमारे मतलब बहुत गंदा सा एक अपराध हो जाते हैं समटाइम्स, कि हम समझ जाते हैं कि हमारा हर्ट कर रहे या फिर हमारा सेल्फ रेस्पेक्ट तोड़ रहा है, लेकिन वो फॉल्स ईगो कभी कभी निकल जाते हैं कि नहीं, ये तो मेरा ईगो था जिसके वजह से मैंने उनके साथ कुछ खराब बिहेवियर कर लिया।
Okay,
तो
so
ये
you
आप
want to
अगर
understand. Okay, all right. So you want to understand difference between self-esteem and ego. Is that right?
yeah.
Yeah. Actually, it is just false ego only. We put a sticker of self-esteem onto it because to say we also have some ego. Can't you understand? That looks so weird to see. So let me put it in a nicer way. I
ठीक
also
है
have got some self-esteem. I also have some self-esteem. So that's a nicer way to put my ego. That yes, I also got some self-esteem. But actually it is ego because respect is not demanded. Respect is commanded by our good dealings, by our good behavior, by our positive vibrations. So we command respect. People naturally respect the person who's so positive with bhakti. He doesn't have to say, hey, don't you know I'm such a senior devotee? Pay obeisances to me. Pay some respects to your seniors. You fool. I'm demanding respect. But we should command it by our purity. We should command it. So that is what is required. So, but yes, but those people who are saying, these people don't respect me at all. We also have some self-esteem. So in a way, actually, I'm saying, I also got some ego. Please satisfy my ego. I need some respect. I need some
and
respect.
प्रभु जी in like कर्मी के वर्ल्ड में like जो मेरे फ्रेंड्स सर्कल में है या फिर फैमिली में है उनके साथ
Can you speak in English? Is that possible for you?
Not really. Okay. I'm saying that Prabhuji, if that is the situation is like happen in our family or friend circle, they are not devotee, and so same thing. This humbleness is required there also.
No, at that time, neither humbleness nor assertiveness, you just ignore because people, they don't have the intelligence whether you are actually right and how much you are right. Materialistic people, karmi people, even though they are our relatives, they cannot really understand what does mean to be a devotee. So that's why I just ignore them. They can say, hey, this girl is crazy. This girl is not far-sighted. This girl. But yes, that also doesn't mean that you become careless in your studies and you become careless in your everyday duties. No, that's not the option. So,
yes.
Yeah.
And one more little question, Prabhuji, that is how to be true to my own self.
How to be true to your own selves?
Can I speak? Can I ask this question in Hindi?
Okay.
सॉरी प्रभु जी मतलब ये सवाल है कि कैसे मैं खुद के साथ ट्रू रह पाऊँ क्योंकि भक्ति को लेके ना समटाइम्स आई इग्नोर समथिंग लाइक मेरे को लगता है कि नहीं मेरे को अटेंटिवली जपा करना है बट दैट टाइम आई थॉट कि अच्छा कल से एंड ओके कल से या फिर लग रहा है कि नहीं आज करना है एक राउंड किया अंदर लगता है नहीं हो पा रहा है मतलब ना वो मतलब एंड मेरे को पता है कि मैं खुद के साथ ट्रू नहीं हूँ इस चीज को लेके क्योंकि भक्ति में ये बहुत ही खराब हो रही है इवन जब भी मैं प्रभुपाद जी की बुक्स पढ़ती हूँ एंड एवरीथिंग तब भी वो लगता है कि अच्छे से समझ नहीं पा रही हूँ बट स्टिल कंसंट्रेट करती हूँ बट नहीं होती है सो हाउ टू डील विद दिस
Okay. So sometimes she is mentioning that when she's trying to read Prabhupada's works, chant Hare Krishna, she's not true to herself. So how to be true to ourselves? Actually, since we are so much convinced by the mind and we are affected by the mind and the mind has become our tutor. So that's why we are not able to become true to ourselves. We are true to our mind. We are true to our mind, but we are not really true to ourselves. So what to do? Like when you are in a marshy land, you are stuck in a quicksand. You can't really help yourself and come out. So you need help from outside to take you outside from the quicksand. Sometimes we are stuck in rajas and tamas and we are not able to become true to our own selves. So we need help from outside to pull us out from that quicksand of self-deception. Okay, and you report your sadhana to some devotee and you allow that sincere devotee to even screw you, to even chastise you, correct you, give you feedback, and you should not mind that.
Yes, Prabhuji, I have Shiksha Guru, but मैं जब भी उनको रिपोर्ट सबमिट करने जाते हो, मेरे को बहुत शर्म आती है कि मेरा इतना खराब रिपोर्ट है, वो क्या सोचेंगे, सो मैं कर नहीं पाती.
You should not feel ashamed. You should share it and get chastised as well. This chastisement is blessing.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Pranam.
Okay. Jeet Vasani. Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
So my question was ki, in many purports, Srila Prabhupada mentions about pure goodness. So
Yes.
what does this pure goodness mean? Can you please explain?
Pure goodness is spiritual in nature. So there is material goodness and there is passion, there is ignorance. So these are three modes. So beyond three modes, there is transcendental goodness. So it's known as so that's divine. That's of spiritual in nature. That's from Krishna. So that is transcendental goodness or Vishuddha Sattva.
So is there any efforts we can make from our own side to try and achieve that state?
Yes. Before getting into transcendental goodness, we should come to material goodness. And then material goodness can be a stepping stone to enter into transcendental goodness. That means first we should do Sattviki Bhakti, and then we can enter someday into Prem Bhakti.
Okay. Prabhuji, I also had another question. So while reading Srila Prabhupada's books, many times I read continuously for quite a long of time, and I don't feel that I have understood quite a lot of things, and I also don't think I get a lot of questions. So what should I do in that case?
You have to repeat. You have to read them repeatedly. It's like if you took a nail. If you hit the nail only once, what happens? The nail falls. Similarly, when we are reading, so when there is nail, then you have to hit again and again and again, and then the nail goes inside. Similarly, when we study, something goes here only once, tuck, so it may fall down. So we have to repeatedly read again and again, tuck, and then it will go inside actually. So that's why repeatedly read. That will improve your comprehension. Also, you can read in group and there can be some kind of discussion. That churning of Siddhanta will take out many different facets and angles of the truth.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Hare Krishna. So now last question is from Rupal. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Hanji, Prabhuji, my question is that does side of the hand really matters to our bhakti or a worship, like for doing japa?
Size of what?
Prabhuji, my question is, does the side of the hand is really matter to our bhakti? Because because I am also a lefty person and I do japa from my left hand. I also do arti from my left hand. But from the childhood, I still used to listen so many judgments about being a left-handy. Like it's an unauspicious thing to do arti from left hand. You should do from right hand kind of.
You know what I'm going to say that will not be agreed by many devotees. So I'm just presenting my opinion. In case you have been lefty, that means you have both the hands, but you are more active with your left hand. You write with your left hand, cooking with your left hand because you are lefty. That means God has made your left hand actually your right hand. So you can chant with your left hand. Okay. This is your actually right hand. Your left hand is your right hand. Even you can eat prasadam with your left hand because this is your right hand. God has made your right hand, your left hand as right hand. So you can offer arti and everything you can do with your left hand. And that's my opinion. So others can differ as well. And Amogh Lila Prabhu, what's this? Left is left, right is right. How come the left can be right and right be left? So there can be devotees who can disagree with me, and which is perfectly fine. But that's my opinion is God has made your left hand as your right hand. So that's why you should use it as if it is your right hand. And there is nothing wrong.
Prabhuji, one point, Prabhu. Then she has to use the right hand for the wrong things. Toilet use, then she should use the right hand for the left hand. We should not use the left hand for left and वो एक point है ना प्रभुजी वो गंदे काम के लिए फिर right use करना है. Then only it's correct.
Obviously.
अगर तो मुच्ची हो जाएगा ना.
Yeah, absolutely. So is that okay? Yeah. Okay. So
all
we have
clear.
All right. All the
Yeah,
best.
I just want to understand why this left hand, right hand thing is not just something superficial.
Something superficial in the sense?
Why does it matter?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. You know, usually it is considered that which is your primary hand. A right hand, when we say, it is actually a primary hand. That should be used in the service. Now, left hand can be like support function. It can support. Like, for example, when we ring the bell and we do Aarti. So with left hand, I'm ringing the bell, and with the right hand, I am doing Aarti. So this is like support function to this. But in her case, this can be primary. That means she can do Aarti and then she can ring the bell. So that can happen with her. So usually like one hand is considered the primary one. Second one is the support function. It's not about superiority or inferiority. One is the primary one and then one is the supporting one.
But my question is, why do we have to choose?
We don't
one
choose
for
that.
Suchi, one for Muchi.
No.
One for
I'm
Suchi,
saying because I'm a person, I like to do everything with both hands. Yes, I am a righty, but I also like to do many things with my left hand. And I mean, is it just a matter of etiquette, or why is it something beyond just something superficial?
Yes. It is not a matter of anything. It is just how God has installed hardware and software in your existence. In case you are able to do something naturally with your right hand, you should do it with your right hand. And something with your left hand, like for example, say writing, if you do with your left hand, that's perfectly good. That means God has put this in you. With the right hand, you are not able to write. But with the left hand, you are very smooth. So that the way God has installed software and hardware in us, we should serve God accordingly. So there is no such thing as this person is right, the righty person is right, and the lefty person is wrong. No, this is wrong. The way God has manufactured us, we work accordingly.
So if God has made me a righty, but
but
I feel like doing writing with my left hand, for example.
Yeah.
If I feel like writing with my left hand, will God not be pleased with that? Will it matter to him?
No, not at all. Matter does not matter. What matters is spirit. So matter does not matter.
Okay.
He would say, Bhakti Yome Bhaktya Prachati. This Gaurangi Devi Dasi has offered something out of devotion. I see only devotion. I see the spirit. Matter does not matter.
Okay. Because you just said, that if he has installed the software in me, and I don't honor that, you made me feel like God will not be happy.
God is always happy with us. He said, at least you offer something, Baba. Ignore right and left. You at least start offering something.
Okay. Thank you for that freedom.
Welcome always. Hare Krishna. Okay, devotees, take your leave now. Thank you very much for being there. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagaavatam ki jai. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
His Grace Amogh Lila Prabhu ji ki jai. Thank you so much for the devotees.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you
so
so
much.
much. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Krishna.
Thank you so much for a wonderful class,
Thank you so much,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam.
Prabhu, thank you. Such a beautiful
Hare
class.
Krishna, Prabhuji, thank you so much. Tanvat pranam.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Jai Shri Ram.